welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to go over my 30-day push-up challenge process and a few things that I've learned along the way. Ever since quarantine started, I told myself that I would start working out, but I had no idea that I would actually do it and continue for so long. It's kinda ironic because every single gym was open before COVID, and I was never this consistent until they all closed. But that's besides the point. I decided to hop on this 30-day push-up challenge that I saw so many people do on YouTube and try it for myself. Now you may be looking at the title and saying that 4 months is not 30 days, it's 120. And you're right. I used to watch all these videos on YouTube of people doing it, and they would show their progress, and I always wondered how their muscles could handle all that pressure in such a short amount of time. So call it fear or being scared, but I didn't want to put my body under that pressure. And the reason it took so long is because I saw a lot of fitness gurus talk about how it's important to let your muscles rest before you break them down again. So that's exactly what I did. I allowed my muscles to rest a day or two before I did another set of 100 push-ups. So I started doing 100 every other day and gradually got lazier and lazier, pushing it back to 100 every 2 days and sometimes 100 every 4 days. So I realized that the results I'm stating here are probably not completely accurate because I would have probably gotten better results if I stick with the plan and did 100 every other day. But I also think that there will be others like me who want to take up this challenge and might have never consistently worked out before, and like me, they might end up going along with a similar plan like mine and not being as consistent as they would like to be. But let's jump into the video. So let's first talk about my strategy going in. And the main thing I wanted to focus on going into this was that I really wanted to focus on having the correct push-up form. And I remember watching an Athlete X video a while back, and he was talking about how so many people neglect the importance of pushing all the way up and going all the way down. When you see a lot of people do push-ups, they hover somewhere in the middle. They don't go all the way up and they don't go all the way down because it's a lot easier that way. But if you try doing push-ups by going all the way down and coming all the way back up, where you might have used to be able to do 30 push-ups, that number will probably be cut down to around 15 because the last few centimeters at the very bottom and the last few centimeters at the very top really do make a difference. So I really took that to heart. Rather than finishing 100 push-ups as quickly as possible, I focused on pushing all the way down and coming all the way back up. And even if that meant I couldn't complete a set as quickly as I wanted to, I would rather complete less than a set and take that extra 2-minute break and keep going to get as much out of these repetitions as I could. By this, I mean that I wanted to tear my muscles as much as I could so they could grow back bigger and stronger. And the second thing I wanted to focus on going into this was doing all of the push-ups at once. And I don't mean that I would do 100 push-ups in a single set because I still can't do that. I mean that I would do a few sets in one sitting with 2-minute breaks in between. I wanted to stick with the idea of time under tension, meaning that if you put your muscles under enough tension in a condensed amount of time, it will tear more and thus grow back stronger. So as of now, 100 push-ups takes me around 15 minutes to complete. And I've also seen others try to spread 100 push-ups throughout the day to make it easier on themselves, and I did try it out. I tried doing sets of 20 throughout the day until I hit 100. But at the end, I didn't feel tired and I wasn't sore the next day. And I don't know if it's because I'm still a newbie at working out, but if the muscles that I worked out the day before don't feel sore the next day, I feel as though I didn't even work out. And I know that's probably not true scientifically, but feeling sore the next day to me is a sign that I worked my muscles out hard enough the day before. And I know it probably also happens because I haven't worked out a specific muscle group in a while, but this is just my opinion on why I decided not to spread 100 push-ups throughout the day. But now let's jump into what I learned throughout the process. And the first thing I want to go through is don't expect too much change. So my expectations might have been distorted from watching other people doing this on YouTube, because when I watched other people doing this, the results that they showed were pretty drastic. So going in, I thought that if I completed this challenge successfully, I would probably see the same results. But finishing these 30 days, apart from seeing mostly chest and tricep muscle growth, along with feeling that my clothes are getting smaller, which I'll go into more detail later on, but other than that, I still feel that I'm relatively the same as where I started. It's only right after I finish 100 reps do I look like I'm jacked, but I'm pretty sure that's true for every other workout. It's just the pump. But yeah, I've learned that 30 days of 100 push-ups is not enough to get you jacked or stay jacked. And the second lesson that I learned is that it doesn't get much easier. Being the workout noob that I am, I thought that after 30 days, I would be able to do 100 push-ups in a row, or at least get somewhere close. But nope. Even today, when I go down and try to do a set of push-ups, I get tired around the 25 to 30 rep range. By then, my chest and triceps are tired, and I probably won't be able to pump out much more after. But I do remember that on the 14th day, it was that one time where I hit 45 push-ups in a single set, and it was then that I was convinced that I was improving. I thought that since I was around halfway through the 30-day challenge, and I also almost hit half of 100, that by the end of the 30-day period, I would be able to do 100 in a row. But I don't know if it was what I ate that day, or if I somehow counted my reps wrong, but ever since then, I never hit 45 push-ups in a single set all at once. So I dramatically overestimated the amount of progress that I would make from doing 100 push-ups for 30 days. But I guess that also means I still have something to work towards. And the third thing that I learned is that your clothes will get smaller. I remember watching a fitness video or reading a fitness article a while back, and it said that unless you're taking workout supplements alongside working out, you won't have to worry about getting massive or gaining too much muscle. Like, you won't work out and gain so much muscle where you'll be like, oh crap, I wasn't planning to get this big. But if you've never worked out or are a complete beginner, which is what I would like to categorize myself, you will see progress, or what they like to call newbie gains. Probably around the 18th to 20th day of this routine, I realized that a lot of clothes that I had were getting tighter. The t-shirts were getting tighter around the shoulders, and the t-shirt sleeves were getting tighter too. And many of the jackets that I used to wear are now too tight for me. Like this shirt that I'm wearing now. The sleeve length used to be around the elbow area, and the shoulders used to be a lot wider. Granted, I've always liked my clothes to be more form-fitting because I would want to look big even though I didn't work out. So most of the clothes that I own were already pretty tight to begin with. But yes, if your style is like mine and you've never worked out before and are thinking about trying this routine out, be aware that many of your clothes are going to become a lot smaller. Or maybe in other words, more form-fitting. So I guess it's a double-edged sword. On one hand, I'm sad that many of the clothes that I used to love wearing don't fit anymore, but on the other hand, now I have a reason to go shopping for new clothes. And I also want to mention that these results that I saw made me want to keep going, because I was seeing results and changes in my body and motivated me to stick with it and not give up. I was seeing muscle definition in mainly my chest, but I also noticed that my shoulders and my arms were getting bigger too. And even though I'm not seeing anyone right now because of COVID, I feel myself becoming more confident when I'm walking around due to my muscle gain. Like, it actually feels really nice to have your t-shirt sleeves actually hug your arms. And I think this goes with anything in life. When you see yourself making progress in some way, you get a shot of dopamine and it pushes you to keep going. And the fourth thing that I've learned is that I've seen more mental growth than physical growth. I remember watching a workout routine video a while ago, and in it the trainer was saying that our mind only allows our bodies to push itself to a certain limit before it gives us a mental signal to stop. And this is usually through the sign of fatigue. But it does this biologically to prevent us from hurting ourselves physically. And looking into this, I found out that when the brain senses that our energy storage is depleting, it sends us a message to stop. Or we feel like we can't go any further and we want to stop. But in reality, when we get this signal, we're only using 50% of our physical limit. So I would argue that working out over quarantine and pushing myself to go through with this 30-day challenge has benefited me more mentally than physically. As I was progressing throughout these past couple months, I gradually felt myself building more of a mental resilience doing these push-ups. I realized that if I can push myself mentally to push through those last couple reps, my body will listen and I'll do more than I thought I could. I discovered that if we can push back the mental barrier that tells us that we should give up, we surprise ourselves with the amount of work that we are able to accomplish. But overall, I'm really glad that I did this challenge. Even though it didn't make as big of a change on my body as I thought it would, it strengthened me a lot mentally, and I honestly still surprised myself with the amount of transformation that I was able to put on my physique. And I'm not planning to stop this journey. I want to continue until I can complete 100 reps in a single set without stopping. And I also want to point out that the results that I outline in this video come from me not changing my diet. And I feel like if I actually stuck to a healthy diet, I would see a lot better results. Because to be honest, my diet right now isn't all that healthy. But I want to encourage you all to try it out. And you don't need to force yourself to do 100 push-ups for 30 days. And it doesn't even need to be push-ups. If there's a specific muscle that you would like to work on, try doing that for 30 days. And if you want to make it easier on yourself, give yourself a few days to rest in between like I did. If you stick with it to the end, I can almost guarantee that you won't regret it. And that's been it for this video. If you stuck with me to the end, you clearly didn't find me too boring. So go ahead and click the subscribe button down below. Leave a like if you learned something new or found any of this interesting. And I'll see you all very soon in the next video.